welcome back to another episode of Sonographers in the Cities. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Giselle.
So, wherever you are listening to our podcast or watching, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, we appreciate you.
Yes, guys, thank you for tuning into our episodes. We hope that you are taking a lot out of these conversations, talking to each other, and knowing that there's a community out here for you guys and rooting you guys on. So thank you.
Yes. And don't forget to click on the notification button or subscribe to Giselle's channel for future episodes.
Yes, don't forget to follow the podcast. And if possible, if you guys like what we're doing, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or leave us a review because we like to read those. So thank you.
Yes, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes or if you'd like to be on our podcast, please fill out the form. The links are in our bio, and we will look forward to seeing you and talking to you.
Yeah, it's called Sonographers in the Cities for a reason because we do want to have guests on here. We're conversating about anything that has to do with life, work, ultrasound, being a student. So if you guys want to share your stories, this is for you guys and for us all to get to know each other, live life, and we all go through similar journeys, but everyone's journey is different. And that kind of leads us to our conversation today, where we want to talk a little bit about mental health, taking care of yourself. And we all know what we're doing is really hard, going to school, just living life in general, having to work in the healthcare field. Even any other industry right now, the service industry, the education industry, everyone is feeling a lot of different things, a lot of different emotions, especially with the times today. So Lynn and I just wanted to check on each other, check on you guys, and talk a little bit about how you can deal with some of the things we're all going through.
Exactly, because right now is a tough time for us and everyone else out there, with the pandemic, with your professional lives, maybe personal lives. Like, we are dedicating this episode just to promote mental health and our well-being and your well-being, so that your takeaway from this would be just to focus on yourselves.
Hi, you guys. So I recently talked about on our 2022 first episode of the year about how I wanted to put myself first. And while it sounds selfish, a lot of times you have to do what you have to do to provide, to be able to provide. And someone commented on our video saying, like, they said, like, you can't help others if your glass is half full or like empty. Like, you can't pour out if it's empty, right? I mean, that resonated a lot. It's actually like, you don't think about it, but in that way, how can we help you guys if we're also not helping ourselves? How can we help our patients? How can we help our students? How can we help each other without being mentally there or, even physically? Like, you can sometimes think that you are able and capable, but you're just not able. And so Lynn, I know that we've been going through a lot, especially in December with everything, school, family. What do you have to say to everyone who kind of is going through a lot? Because I know you just went through a lot as well.
Yes, it's I I think for the most comforting thing for me is like, take it one day at a time, and with time you slowly adjust to whatever it is that you're going through. Like, for me, with my dad's passing, like last month was really tough, but I still had to go to class, I still had to go to clinicals, still had to go home on the weekends to visit my mom. So it's just like going back to your routine or doing what you have to do helps, but just know that, like, at the end of the day, take some time for yourself, even if like it gets to be a lot. Like, allocate like 30 minutes just to do nothing or do something that relaxes you. And like, losing my dad was really hard, and I'm still grieving. I'm still like, it's still hard for me being in the hospital, even though I have to be there for clinicals. And it's just certain things, it's just like, oh my God, it was this, oh my God. And it's definitely is hard. And being able to do this podcast, being able to still share my journey on Instagram, that is like kind of an outlet for me to share what I'm passionate about, which is sonography. Um, it's just kind of like takes my mind off it, and it's tough. It is tough. Like that's why like the first episode um of 2022, I sounded so tired and like my voice was raspy. People asked me, "Are you okay? You sounded really sick." I was like, "I'm just that's my
Mhm.
body being really drained from the last month."
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the community that we have. Like people do check in on you, and I then this episode, like we are checking on each other. We're checking into you who are listening to us to make sure that to remind you to check in on yourself. And Giselle, I know that last month was really busy for you because we like decided to take a break because you had a lot going on with the holidays, your family, your classes, and then you're like always telling me, it's like, I'm behind on my classes. It's like, I don't know if I can make it. But I'm so happy to see that you passed your class. So big congratulations for you. Can you tell more about how that went and how did you deal with it?
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, first of all, I just wanted to say you're very strong for everything that you just went through. And I can't even imagine what you're going through. And you're still here getting up, getting through your days and doing the thing. And, I commend you because I really couldn't imagine. Um, so yeah, I definitely know that it's gonna take time. And just like you said, time will definitely heal. I went through a lot of things in the last month and stress while like it was very stressful. I mean, there was a lot of things that I had to deal with um recently, which is even more personal, like hormonal things. And I went off of birth control in September, so definitely a lot of emotions have to deal with all that stuff. But also family stuff is it's a lot when you have a lot of family things and then you have school on top of that. I felt really stressed out. I wasn't even looking or reading or doing anything. Um, Definitely, having family around, while it's a blessing, it's also uh, can be stressful. So it took a lot for me to kind of set my focus on the bigger picture, right? Which is, you know, we're alive, we're here, we're breathing, we're able and capable of being able to do those things. Um, I was stressing out a lot. My boyfriend can tell everyone like he saw the real behind the scenes. And there were nights where I was just like, I don't even know if I can do this anymore. But, you have to pick yourself up. You have to remember why you're doing these things. You can't just kind of sit there and dwell on it for a very long time. I know we talked about how you said, like, when you hit a low, like, you have to just kind of, there's a period in time where you're going to eventually get back up. And that's what makes us as being human, like normal. We go through these emotions. And so one day I just kind of like picked back up. The new year helps you, right? It being a new year, I don't know if it was like in the middle of the year, if that would have made a difference, but the new year is very motivating and it pushed me to kind of like, okay, I can do this. And I really sat down and finished my class. And I took like at least 2 days to really hone in on everything. And I was like, if I don't do this test now, I'm never going to do it. And I did it somehow and I passed. So I really don't know how that worked, but I really was like, I have to get through this, otherwise I will never finish it. And sometimes you have to give yourself that talk, that motivation, and look to the people. And like you said, the community is really motivating. Like I tell them all the time in my Discord, like, you guys, I really can't get through this. And they were super helpful. And we're just here to lift each other up. and get through whatever we're going through. So that's kind of a little gist of it, but there's been a lot mentally. Like you said, people we're drained. I mean, not just from school, but work too. And the hospital system really is feeling it right now. So
Exactly. I can feel it in clinicals with like everywhere short staffed, everyone is like out because of COVID, and it's just draining. And then there's another part of it where you have to set boundaries between your work life and your personal life so that you don't get burnout. Like burnout is like a big thing. Have you experienced burned out? And if you have, how did you deal with it, and how would you prevent it in the future? Do you have any suggestions?
yeah, so I actually had a video on this last year. I had a whole like 9-minute video of me just talking about how burnt out I was feeling. I used to work 2 jobs, and that was after coming back from the pandemic, which I wasn't working at all for a good 5, 6 months. And that in itself is also kind of like mentally hard. Even though you're not working, you're still trying to figure out what to do and how to be. And I mean, there's a ton more people who had it, worse than me. So, it just kind of goes to show that everyone's burnt out, or like mental health or capacities are different. But I definitely, after starting to work the 2 jobs, was feeling super burnt out. I was working like 20 plus days in a row. And on top of that, dealing with all the COVID stuff. Um, so that was during that time. Now it's like it's a little bit better because I'm now full time and I get, my days off. But I still have so much stuff to do that you feel overwhelmed. And what I do is kind of like take the time to myself to do things that I like to do, and remember that like you can only control how you're feeling. You can't control everyone else. You can't control the world or what's going to happen to you at work. I can't control the doctors who are ordering 50 exams, and I'm one person here. Like, the one thing I can control is how I feel about this. I can really stress out about it, or I can just take it one patient at a time and just know like I'm doing my best. Like, and I have to tell myself that over and over and over again. And in order to like not feel the burnout, you have to just kind of, it's all mindset and stay positive. Like as much as we say, like stay positive, like you really do have to keep on repeating it and tell yourself, because if you don't, if you lose one sight of that, you're gonna snap and like feel stressed out all over again. It's easier said than done, but just focusing on yourself will help you with the burnout. And to prevent it, I basically just really tell myself, I say it out loud. I'm like, it is what it is at this point. And at least when I get off, I'm going to go to sleep. Like, think about the things you're grateful for and what you're thankful for and why you're here. Um, think about all the hard times you've ever been through, and know that, like, honestly, you can get back up and you can get through whatever you're going through because you already went through hard times. I mean, I think about all the times in high school when I thought it was going to be the end of the world, and like, look at you now in the future. Imagine back in the day if you made one decision that would completely change your life, you know, you have to look back at how far you've come and what you've done. And I think just kind of having a community too really helps, because you can just like everyone's going through the same thing. You're not alone, and it's really nice to be able to talk about it. Some people are afraid to talk about it, but I think it's better to talk about it.
I totally agree. Like having things bottled up is not good. It's actually very dangerous. And if you have a supportive system, just like one person, even a dog, a pet, you can talk to them. Just let it out. That will be better for you in the long run. And I totally agree with you, Giselle, on saying like you can't control anything. Like that is not in your control. So like any external factors in your life, you can't control that. But the only thing that you can control is yourself, your emotions, your actions. And if you're gonna react negatively to negative, react to a negative with negativity with negativity, then it's not gonna end well. But if you react, it doesn't have to be positive, just maybe like a medium to negativity, then it's a little bit better. And it's all on what you do that affects the outcome of how you see it. That's how I've been doing with it, like with everything. I'm just like, I've been saying it is what it is a lot because, everything is out of my control. I'm just taking it one day at a time. And honestly, some days are harder than others. Some days I don't want to get out of bed. I just want to be in bed and don't talk to anyone. And you'll have those days. Those are the days that's like, you can't be of service to anyone. You can't help
Right.
anyone because you need to focus on yourself. And
And that's
that's,
okay.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And we all have those days. If you do need to reach out on those days, you have someone. You're not alone. It's like we've all been there.
Yeah, you guys can always reach out in our inboxes. I mean, in our DMs, comment sections. We have the Discord, our Facebook group. Literally, there's so many outlets that you can just reach out. And I know one person is also going through the same thing that you're going through. I went through a lot of things too. Like when my grandma and my great grandma had died. I had a lot of issues because I was working a lot, and there were so many things that I was frustrated about back then. And it's kind of like I had to work, and like work wasn't able to accommodate and things like this. And it was truly stressful. I still had to go to work, and I was still feeling emotional, and it's hard to separate personal and work life. But there are going to be days where you can't, and that's okay. I have cried so many times at work. I mean, I have gone into the bathroom and just sat there and cried for a second, and then I just came back out and I was like, okay, gotta do my thing, because what else can you really do? And at this point, you have to know that like we're here for each other, and we're human. Like it's okay to feel the things you're feeling, and your feelings are validated, and you need to know that it's okay to feel sad, and to feel upset, and then feel the burnout. That sometimes you have to feel that in order to realize, okay, I need to do something to make me feel better. There's so many days where I know I look positive all the time, but like there are many days where I'm not positive, and you guys are the ones that actually help me get through it. I reach out sometimes and I'll say it, or people will notice like I don't post anything, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm kind of sad right now," things like that. But doing things that you love or will bring you happiness, like get to that, because you only live once. The saying is true, and you're gonna miss out on making happy memories if you focus on the sad and and the hardships, because I know it's tough out there, but you definitely do have to try to keep your head up and get through it. I know there's a lot of people who are having a hard time in their programs. Is there anything that you would want to say to them that they can kind of move forward with on how to navigate their feelings throughout the difficulties of the programs? Because I have a lot of people who reach out to me, and like they tell me everything that they're going through, and they're so open, and I love it because we can only help you if you let us know, and we can give you as much advice as we want. But I just am proud of people for reaching out. So for those people who are reaching out, like what do you have to say to them?
So before I answer that question, I would just say like we can only help you or anyone if you or anyone it's what wants to be helped. That's like another thing. If you're like closed off, if you're very avoidant, then it's very hard to help someone who's like that. So to answer your question, if you're having a hard time with your program, or if you got a bad grade in your exam and then you feel like extremely, extremely demotivated, which I have felt, I would just say, think of the long run. Think of why you chose this in the first place. Think of why you chose sonography over another career field, another profession. Think of the reason you're doing this. Think of your why, and then push yourself to know that you can do better, to find resources that can help you. Take it one day at a time. And that's what I did. I went to tutoring when I got a really bad grade on my first exam. And I knew what I wanted. I was looking for like the reasons what didn't work with me. And then I fixed that, which is I went to a tutoring center, asked for a different teacher so that I can learn better, hopefully. And I did, and try to do better the next time. It's just perseverance as well. Like if this didn't work, try another way. Don't
Huh.
don't just get stuck on one thing, because there are many resources out there to help you. There are YouTubes to help you with courses. There are people like Giselle's Discord was really helpful for me. And yeah, it's just perseverance. Just know your whys and just push through. It's easier said than done, but everyone's time is different. So allow yourself that time to mope, to like be hard on yourself and stuff. But that time, when the time ends, that's when you forget about it, let it go, and move forward. Just dwell on it when you can, and then just stop. It sounds a little bit harsh, but that's what I do so that I don't regret, you know?
Right. I mean, but it is true though, because the longer you're in that mode, the harder it is to get back out of it. And that's why as soon as something is happening, like especially for our community, like we want you to reach out. We want you to talk to us and we want you to talk to each other. And that's why we created the Discord, the Facebook, the channel, the podcast. Like this is why she created her DMS diaries. Like this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And we just want you guys to know that you're not alone and like you see the end result. Like you guys see that I'm a sonographer, but you didn't see all the things that I went through to get to this point. And like you just saying what you were saying, like just like a bazillion things like ran through my mind, like, oh my gosh, I did not pass math in college like my first time. I had to take math like 3 or 4 different times. Like I had to retake a bunch of classes. I retook anatomy 3 times. Like I had taken 6 years to become a sonographer. And some people they can take 2 years, 3 years. Like we all go through things differently. And you guys see me here saying like I'm super like I don't know, like motivational, inspirational. Like I haven't even like explained to you guys half the things that I've been through. And it's just like I'm just human too, you know, and we all have feelings and I don't know, we all go through the same things. Like I just think that what you're saying is right. You need to really you can have a minute to yourself, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a day, 2 days, a week, but then get back up. Otherwise, you won't, you know, accomplish your goals. And we want you guys to accomplish your goals. If I stopped back then when I was a pre-nursing student, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I literally was like so sad because I was like, I don't know what to do. I have no clue, but somebody reached out to me. And like if they didn't reach out to me, then I wouldn't be where I am today. And then but even then, if I stopped when I failed math, if I stopped when I got a D in anatomy, like would I be here today? I wouldn't, you know? So it's kind of it definitely is easier said than done, but there are so many people who have been through that and we're here telling you that you can get through it.
Yes. And as a student, the program is hard. Classes are hard. You know, some classes comes easier than other. So just the best you can do is know yourself, know how you learn, know how you study, be resourceful, and take initiative, because that's what gets you the furthest.
Yeah, I would love to if I was to ever like have a business, right? Like if you're looking at it at a manager standpoint,
Hmm.
you want to hire those students or new grads that are willing, who want to work hard, who definitely like I don't want the straight A, like everything kind of thing. I want the person who's able to get through it and be able to adapt, and like there's going to be challenging days, it's going to be hard, but I want to know someone's capable of, even when you're down, you can get back up. And that's why people do interviews. They want to see what you've been through, they want to see the hardships, because they want to know that you're capable and able to get back up. And being humans, we definitely have to be able to show that, like, yeah, we're going through some hard stuff. It's mentally, physically draining. The healthcare field is mentally, physically draining. And just to get there and just to work in this mentally, physically draining environment, you're going through mentally, physically draining school. So you guys, we got you. We know what you're going through. And we really do appreciate you guys being here and listening. And we want you guys to know that we're here for you.
Yes, and this episode, this past 20 so 30 minutes, it's just for us to remind you that you matter, your emotions are valid, what your feelings are valid, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. Just keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is great.
Yes, you guys, stay positive, keep your heads up. You can do it. You'll get through it. Everything in life, I believe everything in life happens for a reason. I mean, that's just how it's been, for a majority of things that have been going on. And you don't know it until it happens, and you don't know until you get through it. Just know that what you're going through, you can get through it, and we're here for you.
Yes, and 2020, we're only beginning 2022, so we have months to go. So lots of opportunities, lots of learning experiences, lots of time to appreciate, be grateful for what you have, and just enjoy your life.
Yeah, take it one day at a time. Breathe. There are so many times where I'm like, I take a deep breath. I'm like, okay, now what? And like, if you have to, make your to-do lists, reach out to your friends, reach out to me, Lynn. It takes one action for you to be able to get out of whatever you're feeling. And I mean, I feel sad a lot, I feel like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? A lot of the times, like, yeah, I'm in my career, but sometimes a career isn't the end all be all to make you happy. It's other things in life. It's the way you live your life and the people you surround yourself with. So yeah, thanks for talking to me. See, it feels so
Thank you.
good.
Yes, I hope you feel better, because it definitely did.
Yeah, you guys, so definitely reach out to us on Instagram. I'm lolgeselle. She's at DMS Diaries. Don't forget to comment below. And if things are too personal, you can always share it with us privately. It doesn't have to be in a Discord group. It can be private. So we're here for you.
We are. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye.